Hey guys, Katie Taylor here at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking. Today I'll be showing you how to document the world through your kids' eyes using Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. So for day 29, I have this sketch, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to couple it with this sketch from Miss Carrie's Creations, and then this one is by Susanna Lee. Right off the bat, I love the smaller photos. So I'm actually going to be using some photos that my daughter took. We bought her, or she inherited from me, one of those new little Polaroid cameras. And so she just loves to snap pictures, and I love to see the world through her eyes. And then this one by Miss Carrie just kind of flows really well with this. I probably will flip this sketch up like this. So you'll have this little corner piece kind of stopping your eye, and then you'll have this bar of pattern paper and photos stopping your eye from going off the page. I am going to be using a kit. Now what I love about kits, this is actually a starter kit. So if you are new to scrapbooking, this is perfect. Or if you're like me and you've been scrapping for, 30 years, this is perfect for what I'm about to do. So it has exclusive products in it. You can purchase the kit itself separately. So we have two options. This is more like the masculine colors, the primary colors, and then we have a very floral one. So the reason I chose this one is you can see that it says Wonderful World. Number one, I love this alphabet. Now this alphabet is exclusive to the kit, and in my opinion, you can't have too many alphabets. But if you do have one from your stash, please feel free to use it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play on that title by these photos that my daughter took. And then, of course, these are pre-printed and pre-cut, but you can definitely rearrange them, which is what I'm about to show you. So if you are a beginner, this is how it comes. You can make it exactly the way it is spelled out for you in this fully color illustrated guide. And if you've been around a while and just need to catch up on scrapbooking, have small pockets of time like I do, then these kits are perfect to get some memories documented and in a quick time frame. So I'm going to clear this off and then grab those photos, and then we can get started. So what I usually like to do when using one of Close to My Heart's kits is go ahead and punch out all the die cuts. Now this is just a single 2-page layout, but most of our kits also come with two 2-page layouts. If that's the case, then the stickers and the die cuts are always labeled as to which layout they go on. So starting with these adorable pre-made bases, I'm going to start gluing down the die cuts and the stickers. So there is this little line, it almost looks like elementary paper. I'm going to adhere that down with tape adhesive and then trim off the edge, and then also apply a sticker from the sticker sheet. Not really sure, usually these stickers and die cuts are measured perfectly, so there is no trimming, but I'm not really sure why this one requires that. So for this photo mat, I am going to add 3D foam tape to the back of it just to kind of add some dimension. Again, this starter kit actually comes with tape adhesive. So if you didn't have 3D foam tape, if you were just starting out, you would just use that tape adhesive to adhere all these pieces down. I am going to center the left, right, and bottom because I am going to add the sticker up at the top. Now here is a wonderful time to remind you that if you are liking what you see, go ahead and hit that like button. If you aren't already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and sign up for notifications. And it helps YouTube show you more videos of the same, and it helps my little channel out in the process. As far as these Polaroids go, I am using glue dots just on the bottom, because I'm really not sure how adhesive on the back of that photo paper will work long term. So I'm going to adhere these down. You see I have my T-ruler to line them up. And then I'm actually using washi tape from my stash to adhere the top portion, since there's no adhesive on that part. So for the little corner detail on this layout, I'm going to pull out my score pal and try to somewhat do this straight. And I probably only want it maybe 1.25 inches. Just score it like that. I probably could bend it back because these base pages aren't, maybe I want to do a little bit more. They're not as heavy as like regular cardstock. So let's do 1 5/8 inches. And we're going to have a little sticker details up here. So that first score mark that I did, hopefully that will be hidden. And because this is a kit, it came with an extra, on the pre-design layout, it had an extra photo mat. So I'm actually going to use this to bring the green up here. Like that. So I'm going to go cut this. I have cut it to 3 by 3, and then I also just want to tack this little corner down. I would use 3D foam tape, but we're going to have 3D foam tape on the, I don't know if I'm going to do the rainbow up here or something else. And just turn this over and get this adhered down. And there's definitely a dark and a light side. I want the dark side showing because that's what I used on my photo mat. So I am just going to use the edges of this layout, the left and the top, to line that up. Flip it over, make sure, and we are good. So I usually do my accompanying page first before I start the embellishing process. It just allows me to kind of see the two layouts together and then decide which is best. So speaking of the day 29 sketch, remember that it was a straight line of photos. Now my photos are portrait, not landscape, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of finagling. But I'm thinking of doing that. Let me go ahead and get this adhered down. We want it to match the other layout. And even though these are two different sketches, going to be, I think at the moment, two different orientations of photos, still want that left and right layout to kind of mesh. So I'm just going to line the sticker up. And that's what I love about these kits too, is there's stickers and die cuts. Makes it really easy. And then you can just add either stamps from your stash, or, you know, this one comes with that great alphabet stamp that you can use over and over again. So I got that glued down, and then of course we've got our sticker sheet. I want it on the inside. The beauty of not doing the tape runner or the 3D foam tape all the way to the edge is you can kind of tuck things under. So I'm just going to cut this sticker right here. Didn't really cut that straight, but we can hide that here in just a second. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the photos. I'm going to overlap them just a little bit and then use washi tape and the glue dots to adhere them down. So if you have kids, do you allow them to take your photos, your camera every once in a while and just kind of shoot their own little shots? Kind of see what's important to them. That's what I like doing is, what's important to me is not necessarily important to the kids. The boys have social media, so I can kind of see, where they're coming from and what's important to them. But I can't on her. I'm going to move this down quite a bit because keep in mind I have to have room for the washi tape. I want to keep kind of the same border at the bottom and the top. And I don't have my T-ruler on this one because there's only two, so surely I can line up two photos with the naked eye. So another thing is my daughter has an old phone of mine, and so I let her use it. And so she'll do little videos. She'll, she doesn't post anything, but That's also fun because it backs up to my Google Drive. And so, you know, when memories come up, not my memories, they're hers, but it's funny. Okay, so we've got that. And then I don't know if I want a little extra detail here. I think I do. So I'm just going to, instead of bring my score palette back out, just going to freehand that. Turn downs are a great way to just kind of add some pops of color. If you follow me, then you know that I often do that when I'm looking at a layout thinking, oh, this needs more. Well, let's just turn down a corner or tear a side of the page or something. So I like that. And so now it's time to embellish. And then this is usually when I bring out both layouts. Just kind of helps me look at them as a whole, and then definitely allows me to place things a little bit better and some that are a little bit more cohesive. So I'm thinking I want 2 hearts over there and 2 hearts over here. And then we have these tabs, which I still haven't done anything with. And then the second part of this globe, and then of course this rainbow. So I might actually, and then add 3D foam tape to my hearts. Since the rainbow is crooked, I'm going to have the hearts straight. So I've adhered some embellishments down as well as those hearts. And now I want to start on my title. So again, I think it's going to be Wonderful World. And then I think I'm going to bring out another alphabet stamp and stamp the rest of the title on the globe. So on this particular one, I am going to just do it letter by letter. That way I can get them as close or as far apart as I want them. And even though the kit comes with a block and a little stamp set, I usually like to save those for like little door prizes or things like that. So I'm just using my blocks for my stash and then just black ink. I'm going to ink it up. I do prefer a larger block so I can kind of see everything around me. You just have to be careful that you don't get ink on your block. But the good thing about an acrylic block and polymer stamp is I can see exactly what I am stamping. So wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead, while I have the W, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the W of world over here. I am going to speed up the rest of the stamping and just kind of walk you through what I did with the rest of the title. So I am just switching out the letters from this exclusive stamp set and stamping Wonderful World and just using my black ink. And it's wonderful because I can actually use those pieces that have the lines that I'm stamping on as a guide. And so while it's not really straight, it is straight enough. So I'm just finishing this off, and then I'm bringing out the tiny little alphabet. I believe this is the Cassidy alphabet. And I love it because you get not only lowercase, but you get uppercase. So on this little globe, I am going to stamp the title Through Your Eyes. The through and your will actually be all lowercase, and then I'll bring in the uppercase that comes on the same stamp set to do the eyes. And I love that I was able to use the little embellishment, the little globe embellishment, to kind of bring forth another part of my title. So I'm going to finish stamping this, and then I am going to add a part of the title to that left page as well. On the left layout, I am again using that same stamp set, and this portion of the title will actually say Seeing This. So it'll be Seeing This Wonderful. And then I'm going to bring out some of my acrylic shapes to kind of get rid of all of that space to the right of Wonderful. Now, while I originally thought, okay, Wonderful would go on the left, World would go on the right, I stamped the letters just a little bit too close, and so it definitely needs something to fill that empty space. So for the globe, I've added 3D foam tape to the back of that base, and then I'm going to add thin 3D foam tape to the actual globe that has my title stamped to it. That way you kind of got a two-dimensional, well, 3D, but you've got two different dimensions. Here are my black acrylic shapes, and again, I am doing the arrows Now, what I do to one layout, I usually like to bring over to the other one. So I have this curved arrow I'm trying to find something to do with, and I'm loving it underneath the hearts pointing to those photos. While I don't find a spot for a third arrow right now, I will add one later. I do like to adhere these acrylic shapes with micro glue dots. They're the tiniest glue dot, and they really do wonders on these acrylic shapes. I do kind of double up in spaces. And then if you do have acrylic shapes that are too thin, you can either roll your glue dots onto the acrylic shape, or you can add liquid adhesive. And I'll do that with an open heart here in just a second. I am going to pull out my bin of acrylic hearts and play with the placement of those. So what I love about our acrylic hearts is you kind of have all shapes and sizes. You can see that one at the top left is kind of open with just like diagonal stripes on it. And then I, again, am going to adhere these down with micro glue dots. The goal was to have some at the left by those tabs. Since there's nothing written on the tabs, they just kind of looked empty. I will write the date on the tab that's over the photos on that right layout. For this heart with the diagonal stripes, I am going to use liquid adhesive. It really helps if you have a fine tip applicator, and it's also quick dry. So you can just put that heart down and hold it for a split second. Now I do want a heart or a red heart right there by through your eyes. So I pulled out my rainbow color hearts, and then I'm going to get that adhered down. I think I am done. I ended up adding another little arrow right here just so I would have a total of 3 arrows. And then of course I've got the groupings of hearts. There is one sticker left on the sticker sheet. Remember, I trimmed down this piece. So we've got that. I think I'm going to add it down here. And I might actually, I'm going to cut it in half and add some down here and then some up there. That way both of these little tabs will have that element. And again, those tabs are adhered using 3D foam tape, so it's really easy just to slide those stickers underneath. So I'm going to get that adhered down. It's a very subtle look. I mean, if you didn't watch this video, you probably wouldn't even know that it's there, but I like it. I think that they just needed something a little bit more. Just pressing them down again. The oils on your hands get on those stickers, and even though they're really, really strong, sometimes it just takes a little bit of the stickiness off. So let's look at today's sketch first. So we've got this one again by Susanna Lee, and I told you guys that I was going to flip it, which I did. And then I had to do some finagling on the photo choices because mine were portrait and hers were landscape. But overall, I think I did an okay job. I don't have the title going down the page, but because it's a 2-page layout, it's a little bit different. And then I coupled it with day 17 from Miss Carrie's Creations. And again, I went ahead and did the little fold down detail that she had in the sketch. And then, you know, she has scallops down here. Well, that kind of works there. And then she had the photo. Now she has one, but I think the 4 across still kind of keep in line with her sketch. And then it just so happened that even though she had this kind of stitch pattern around, that I let be this right here. And then of course she has the tags. I didn't do the tags, but I added some washi tape to these Polaroids to kind of mimic that. And then of course she has the tab, she has that. So I kind of kept in line. Again, sketches are just meant to inspire and get you going, and then you do the rest. Sometimes sketches are the only thing that get me in my craft room, because after a long day of work, I'm cooking, cleaning, running after kids, sometimes I just need that burst of inspiration, and sketches are perfect for that. So don't forget to check the playlist down below for Christy's Beautiful Life. The playlist has hundreds of videos already from people who have been playing along this series, which is series 10. And then also I'll leave links down below for you to purchase any of the products that I used. If you are unable to order from the links because you are a Close to My Heart maker, or maybe you're a VIP of another Close to My Heart maker and you're already earning that 15% on every order, then don't forget that you can leave me super thanks to just let me know that you were inspired. It doesn't have to be much. And even if you're not in that position, something simple as a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, a sign up for notifications, just those little non-monetary things really help my channel out. And in turn, again, let me know that you were inspired. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching. You guys have a nice weekend.